Pledge of allegiance and the Texas pledge and the pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
And I'll have a moment of reflection. Dear Heavenly Father, we just come to you at this time thanking you so much for all the blessings that you bestowed upon us. We thank you for this county that we have, this wonderful place that we have to live. And we thank you for this hospital. We pray, Father, that as we do the business of this hospital, we do it in a manner that is wise and will help to grow and provide services to this community, and that it's in accordance with your will. It's in your Son's name that we pray. Amen. Please see. So we'll call the meeting to order. First is the roll call of the board. Marcelo Lejas. Here. Grace Pettis. Absent. Jeff Jordan. Here. Allison Lambert.
Present.
Larry Richardson. Here. Joshua Warner. Absent. Tom Miller. Present. Kay Dagan.
Here.
Okay, we have quorum. All right, next up is approval of the July 18, 2019 board meeting minutes. We would take a moment to look at those.
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
And motion by Larry Richardson, seconded by Allison Lambert to accept the July 18, 2019 board meetings as presented. All in favor? Motion carries. All right. Next up is citizen input. We have no citizen input this evening. So we will move forward to review, consider, and take action regarding any of the following issues. First off being the July summary and financial analysis.
Thank you. I think most everybody's here for finance, so I'll speak mainly to you.
You have to do the whole thing for me. I look over.
So I think the point was that our inpatient volume was lower than our trend. However, that wound up being slightly above what we budgeted on the gross revenue side. On the outpatient side, we came in a little better than our gross revenue as well. We had a tough contractual month. We saw a shift of our self-pay patients rise. So it went up from 21% of our total self-pay AR up to 24%. So that's going to increase your contractual bad debt calculation there. So it still came in a little better than budget for the month on the revenue side, and then came in at the skin of our teeth, $993, better than budget for our net income for the month. The hospital is a little bit under budget, the clinic was a little over budget, and home health was better than budget as well. Still strong cash for the month, almost $14 million, I think, in the bank.
Anybody have any additional questions regarding the financial report? What was the recommendation of the Finance Committee?
Finance Committee makes recommendation to approve the July summary financial analysis as presented. And I make that as a motion.
A motion from Marcel Lejas, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jeff Jordan to approve the July summary and financial analysis as presented. All in favor? Motion carries. 6B, award contract to general contractor for renovation of the medical office building, 497 West 10th Street. Mr. Hill.
Okay, I'll go, don't let me go fast, Kate. We covered finance, but basically, a little history for those who may not know it. We acquired the two-story building through eminent domain in February of 2018. We took out a loan so that we could keep our cash up, keep our flexibility, liquidity up. We've done all the construction documents. We got bids, 7 bids on July 19th, which we're excited about. So good competitive process. Just a reminder, we're taking the first floor and converting the specialty clinic, Dr. Henley's office, and portions of Dr. Profena's office into a primary care built for 4 providers to give us more room, more efficiency, hopefully with a better design than currently there. Then we're moving our specialists up to the 2nd floor, including specialists up to the 2nd floor, and then expanding rehab so they can expand their pediatric programs there, and then more room for speech therapy. So our original estimates were $1.9 million and $500,000 for a modular building. Remember, I don't know if you're there, we're going to put a building between Bill Barbara and her team, and other folks that move out, accounting and so forth there. We ended up acquiring the Chavez office, so that was similar to $500,000 in all told, once we fix the roof, the parking lot, and the fire alarm system. Other things that, but anyway, so then I came to you all a couple months ago, prior to issuing the construction bid request, with the sad story of that now we're up to $2.7 million. These were our new estimates based on, we had J.E. Martin out of Poth help us with those. This is our architecture costs. We had a contingency in there because it's an existing building. We want to be careful and not get caught. And then we moved to the central campus, or moving to the central campus, the old WellMed building, so that we can keep our operations going and not impact our primary care practice. So that was the budget a couple months ago, our estimate. The reason the difference, I was crying to you guys about it's 3 years old numbers, and we didn't include the location, and I didn't put Carl, just missed it, but that was there. But the good news is we've come back under budget. Our lowest bidder that's qualified, we had 7, we eliminated the first 3. Lowest bidder number 1 did not have medical office building experience, even though we specifically asked for that. Bidder number 2, references didn't check out, so reputation is one that we can eliminate a bidder on. Bidder number 3, the bid wasn't complete, which is another thing we can eliminate on, and their project timeline was longer than anybody else. So bidder number 4 is this number with, we had some alternate bids, which are just additional things that were produced after the documents were done, which included downspouts, some combination of some electric meters and some work in PT. So this is our total construction cost. We're still carrying a 20% rounded contingency. We still have some other things to do as far to get the permits, asbestos study, and so forth. We have a floor that's not level, and so that was not included in the documents. The architect recommended we just carry an allowance for that and work with the contractor to make sure, because if you level the floor, it might impact doors, it might impact whatever's on the wall that you bring the floor back up. So that's why that's there. And then we are requesting to have our same interior designer who picked all the wallpapers and countertops with our team's input to actually recommend basically the waiting room furniture, which is included in the units. So $1.8 million. We already had this from the last one, if you recall, the architect and the rebuild. So we're slightly under budget from 2.7 estimating, we awarded contract to Hennick Construction. Largest of the three that we eliminated, they're the largest, which is good news. They're located in San Antonio. We interviewed them, we challenged them on their numbers, and that checked out. We feel like they'd be a good contractor for the project. It's a 6-month project, and completion April of next year. So with that, we are requesting approval for the budget of $1.8 million, and then once that is done, approval and awarding the contract to Hennick Construction, $1.447,455.
We have a motion from the Finance Committee on item 1 up there.
Yes, the Finance Committee makes a recommendation to approve the $1.8405,455 for a total cost of renovation to 497 West 10th Street as presented.
I have a motion by Marcelo Lejas. Do I have a second? I have a second by Allison Lambert. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Motion carries unanimously. What about item 2?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee also makes a recommendation to approve the contract with Hennick Construction for a value of $1,447,455 to work as the general contractor for the renovation of 497 West 10th Street.
Okay, I have a motion by Marcelo Lejas, second by Jeff Jordan. All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Okay,
Thank you.
we are go.
We're going to issue the notice to proceed tomorrow. Probably take us 3 weeks to a month to get actually or something like that. Permits, get them organized, have our meetings, get us organized. Where you store materials, where they park, all those things.
What's involved in this environmental study? Is that?
To get a permit, they require asbestos, even though this building was built after. Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, okay.
And there's other maybe little things for permitting.
You don't have any smell bars or anything like that?
No, hopefully.
Nobody will be standing by.
Those caves, fire.
All right. That's what, and just a comment on that, I want to thank everybody for all their efforts on this. This has been a long time coming. A long time. We have been working on getting to this point for a long time. We look forward to seeing progress being made. Hopefully we'll see some nice slideshows. Show us the progress and then a grand tour.
Most definitely.
Yes, all right, excellent. Next up on the agenda is the financial investment review.
Thank you. As I mentioned during the Finance Committee, we will be coming back next week, some of the details for you to look over. For tonight, I'd just like to report that our investments are doing much better than prior year and much better than what we had budgeted. Year to date, we're sitting at $115,000 of investment income on a budget of only $50,000 and a prior year of $71,000. So we'll come back next month with a detailed schedule so that you can see the staggering of the CDs that we're continuing with Wells Fargo and then the money market accounts as well.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, no action is needed on that. So next up is, item D, review fiscal year 2020 draft budgets.
All right, so we've prepared a draft of the budget for the board. I'm going to go over some of the assumptions. We had an assumption on our emergency room visits of an increase over a rolling 12 months of 1.5%. Surgery volume growth of 5%. Increases in general surgery, eye, pain, and addition of podiatry coming on board in September. With the retirement of Dr. Chavez and his wife and missing the pediatrician, we're estimating a 5% decrease in our laboratory volumes as compared to the rolling 12 months. We are also estimating a 2% decrease in our radiology volumes throughout the different modalities. Next year, we are going to have a full year of our IV therapy department. We're estimating an increase due to that. We will see a decrease in our clinic without the Chavez. Our ENT volumes, we're going to build in a small 2% growth over a rolling 12 months. Our general surgery volumes, we're building in a 3% increase in our clinics. We have a podiatrist coming on board in September, so next year we'll have our first full year with him. And with the ramp up, we built that in. We also have a target date in 3 to 6 months of a new pediatrician coming on board. So we have decreased volume from our pediatrician that retired and left us. And then we'll have a little bit of an increase, but it's going to be a net decrease in our pediatric clinic. And then we built in an additional primary care physician starting in April of next year. So in our reimbursement assumptions, we are looking at our trends with our bad debt. We are increasing that by $100,000. We are looking at our trends in our Medicaid disproportionate share and seeing that is coming down year over year. So another $100,000. We're also going to see a dip in our district funds in fiscal year 2020. Our tobacco funds will maintain the same next year. We have no reason to believe those will change. And we're going to see a decrease with some vacancies and some folks that left out of the one-story MOB on the property. We have 3 that we're going to be missing. On the expense side, we've built in a merit increase for next year. We're going to have additional wages for new physicians coming on board and support staff for those clinics. We're going to see a reduction in our rehab service expense with the employment of the rehab folks as opposed to subcontracting that service out. Also in IT services, we will see a reduction in our expense next year. Next year we'll have a full administration throughout the year. We went several months last year without. We're going to estimate a decrease in our contract labor by 50%. We are going to increase our marketing spend, looking to bring on some of that Google ad placement and other things. Next year is an election year, so we built in that expense. With the new phone system, we're continuing to see decreased expense in our operations. We will be renting the central campus throughout the construction of the medical office building. And with the addition of the medical office building renovations and new equipment next year, we'll increase our depreciation expense. And then we will not be budgeting any indigent care support for fiscal year 2020. So once we roll up all those items, really minimal increase in the gross revenue, but we were able to maintain that. So $63,000 additional gross. The reimbursement will be a decrease of $575,000, and on the expense side, a little over $1 million in additional expenses. So if you'll go to the proposed draft budget, the only change on there is the $300,000 merit increase is not built into this number. So once we put that in, it will shift down. As we pointed out in the finance meeting, the changes in the disproportionate share program are over $600,000. We're going to be receiving less money in the DISPRO program and the DISH program as well of $300,000. The additional depreciation expense is $130,000 over prior year. So this is what your budget would look like based on all of the assumptions that we have made. So we'll continue to make little minor tweaks and come back next month with a final.
I would like to propose that, Carl mentioned earlier, maybe we should have a budget workshop. We're looking at a large number there. And it's hard to get our heads around it in this short period of time. So I think a budget workshop might be a good idea, so we can delve into this a little more and really understand what's going on.
When do we need to have that in order to not interfere with the process? When is-
Well, we need the tax rate approved tonight, so that we can notify them by the end of the month and get that all calculated. But as far as the actual budget, we just have to, it's usually the September meeting, and we have to back up 2 weeks prior in the newspaper to say. And if we're not gonna have a tax increase, then that's all we have to do. So we can have a workshop by the end of the month, or sometime, an early board meeting again in September, I think. But we can also move that board meeting. It's not required to be on the third Thursday.
But do you, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, do we need a budget workshop in between this meeting and the next one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and let's figure out a date.
And actually, 2 weeks prior to the next one, so that we can
So it needs to be the
I would
first,
say
First of the month, yeah.
first of the
Yeah.
month. I think we usually do it like that Tuesday, don't we? And we've had them before in the past,
Before the board.
before the board, no, not right, not the Tuesday right before, like the first of the month. It needs to be 2 weeks, so Tuesday the 3rd,
Yeah.
that's right after Labor Day, though.
Yes.
I mean, people are gonna be back at work on that day, so I don't, I don't have a conflict on the
We
3rd.
can stay on Thursday.
We could stay
Yeah.
on, yeah.
Fifth or the Tuesday prior to the next week.
Do we still have time
I
with
think
the
that
2 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah.
We
We
have time to
do
make
for the
That
sure.
gives us
10th?
time, yeah.
So the 10th, September the 10th,
Thursday.
that's fine with me.
That's only a week before.
I know it's just 1 week, but they said that that's okay, right, or no?
Actually, that's okay. We'll go ahead and post it in the paper. We don't have to post anything but
The tax rate.
the tax rate.
You just have to have that 10 days, two, yes.
Yes, so that would work. The
Okay.
5th would work, or
The 10th,
We do the 5th or the 10th, either one.
I'm,
Are those, what days are those?
the 5th is a Thursday,
Thursday?
the 10th is a Tuesday.
I should
We're
be good
avoiding
on either one of
Wednesdays.
those. Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
I'm fine on either one of those, so.
I would propose the 5th, just to give them a little more time.
Okay.
So we will schedule a budget workshop for the 5th. I mean, theoretically, is that a finance committee thing, or is it a whole board thing?
Finance, wouldn't
Yeah, you can
It's
do both.
you? You can do
It's
both.
a work,
It's
it's a
everybody.
workshop,
Everybody's
yeah.
welcome.
Yeah, but I would say it's definitely need the finance committee, but the board is, we
Yes.
would like the whole board to be here for it.
Yes.
At 6?
6,
Is that, what time is that?
6 is good.
Okay.
6 is good, very good.
It's a budget meeting, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any action needed on this, or is this just informative?
This is just informative.
Okay, thank you. for your work on that. Appreciate it.
Promise my granddaughter I'd be at her birthday.
At 6.
Understand. All right. Marcella is departing in order to keep a promise made to his granddaughter.
Yeah, no, it's my granddaughter's 15th birthday at my house. My apologies for remembering.
Yes, you had investment. Thank you, Marcella.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is item E, discuss fiscal year 2020 tax rate.
All right, so we've received back the calculations and the information from the local County Tax Office. The property value for next year is increasing by $239,000. What that will do is decrease our tax rate to 11.1% from the 11.66% it was last year in order to keep the effective rate. That would estimate the tax levy at 3.966777, which would yield an additional $73,000 over the prior year. Last year we went with the effective rate at the 11.66%. So you can see that the property values have continued to increase year over year, so our effective rate will continue to go down, as that happens in order to keep us at the same levy. So, I think tonight we need to consider if that's what we were to adopt. So I need to let the tax office know by the end of the month. We want to accept the effective rate, or if we wish to do something different.
What is what would be the amount if, you know, is it significant? We did raise it.
So we kept the rate the same?
That would be a significant increase. To keep it at .116, that would be, and I'll do the calculation to make sure you could do that.
It's in, what, 111 now?
Yes, that would be the new effective rate.
It's 1.66.
4166 right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
the new
18
effective
is
one.
still
Yes.
18
Yeah.
tax.
So the new one would be 2111. So it's a little less than $100,000, right? Increase in revenue?
That would be a significant amount more.
Well, the difference between 966, 777, and
Oh, right now it's a $73,000.
Yeah, okay.
I thought you meant if you kept
No,
the.
no, just what
It would be.
what the difference
It
is.
would be like an $800,000.
Oh, there, you have it on this side.
Yeah.
So if we stayed at 1166, our tax revenue would go up by 800,000.
I got 460,000.
If we stayed at 1166?
166, but don't count, don't text.
I'll wait for you to say that.
I was beating you to the punch. So I did 1166 times the 3573.
Yes.
Go ahead, Kyle, what'd you get?
Your phones can go that big and
Yeah.
they'll just hang down.
It's another,
There you go, now you have.
I got 417.
Entertain it.
417.
It's between 417 and 480.
That's small, minor
That's what
difference.
Jeff gets, he's working on it.
Would you come up with?
416.
Would you come up?
416.
Uh-oh.
Good question. 0.11.
I know people should know these answers.
460.
Yeah. Got
I ran out of digits going this way.
Yeah, they tried this phone the other way, so I have enough room.
No, you're not gonna miss it.
Different.
Allison, the average is like 350. It's pretty simple.
It goes in and subtract it.
They're all.
100,000. Minus 3.9.
No one
You can go 8%.
We have like FGC.
Right, you can go 8%. Right, and like the way you can as well, and that's 200,000.
No.
200.
New number,
We went through that once.
Well, we can, we just don't win.
200,000.
We just don't win.
So
Tom,
what
you get
what is the
200,000?
percentage? What is?
Difference?
239,309.
I didn't take the difference, that's right.
You did take.
I got the new.
So you take the 11.66 times the 3.573 billion.
The 2019 number.
Yeah, and then subtract it from
This
3.9667777.
time it is, no, it should be minus.
That's
200,000.
73,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what'd you get?
200,000.
Well, it's not, well, we're keeping it the same.
What do you always do?
On
Trying
it,
to
that's-
concur.
200,
We're not going up. We're just keeping
200,
that's
126?
the
Yes,
$1 billion.
yes, 126.
Here's the thing, and I
Have
think.
a confirmation.
Finance.
I think Dr. Fenner got that too, right?
200, 126, yeah.
How much?
200,000.
You know,
200,000 for what? That, there's too many numbers floating around.
22?
If we stay,
Oh,
the difference
for
is
the
200,000.
difference,
Yes.
okay.
If we stay at the current rate from the tax increase,
Yeah, up 200,000.
200,000 up.
So we would receive 200,000 more staying at the same
Correct.
for 2019.
Yes.
I think when we go into a budget meeting, you correct me if I'm wrong here, we're looking from last year, a pretty large decrease. And it's primarily because of reduction of services. We don't have the Chavez's, that, and some expenses have gone up.
And also the
District.
district.
Is more, is half.
So we need to grow this thing a little bit to get back to where we need to be.
We're gonna talk about that. We
Okay.
formulated a plan with physician recruitment, and that's gonna be ongoing. You know, I went and visited some hospitals, we'll talk about service lines in executive session. And so, yes,
But those ideas have not been incorporated into the budget plan at this point.
not all of them.
Okay. Because they're still on the drawing board, so to speak. You know, I just don't want us to get in a crunch. We had a public forum 4 or 5 years ago, and when we were reducing taxes on a regular basis, and one of the gentlemen from the public said, be careful by doing that, because you might get in trouble someday, because you'll be revenue short. And I would hate to do it. This county's not gonna miss the 200,000, but this hospital might.
Well, just one thought though is we're at 145 days cash. Given the budget we just looked at, which is not approved, obviously, our cash would not decrease, rough estimate, significantly. We would still be over our 100 days cash goal with this tax, with the
Going
effective
down.
rate. Yeah.
Going down to 111.
But I've always, said cash is king. You can't have too much of it. However, we are exceeding our goal by 45% on cash.
We'll not spend a whole lot of money, too.
Right, we're not spending a whole lot of money. Bob's got some other things in the capital budget. We haven't talked about that yet. In addition to the, rounded $2 million medical office. And, we always have $1 million bond payment around.
I'm just gonna go back to, a couple of years ago when we were cutting the rate. And I was concerned about cutting the rate at that point in time. And the simple fact of the matter is, no one noticed ever that we cut the rate. But when we came back and said we needed to raise the rate a bit, we got crucified. So I'm of mind to leave it at 1166. We're not increasing the rate.
We need the cash.
We need we are losing federal funds, we're losing state funds. We're gonna do everything we can do, but I don't think that we're in a position right now to give up that money. And it's I don't know what it would be per household. You know, I can tell you that, you know, a lot of people aren't happy that they're getting a 10-cent tax increase in my precinct for ESD.
Well, and
And
let's,
if you recall, we got crucified for trying to add
no,
3
but
cents.
we did tell them that that was gonna happen.
Yeah, we did.
We did tell them.
We
that
did
that
tell
was
them it was gonna happen, and we were called idiots for it, but, you know, that's, you know, another matter. That's long ago. I just feel like, you know, we can't really afford to, you know, give up the revenue.
I agree.
If we had to come back later and ask for more, and it went above the recall rate, we would no doubt lose that election again. I wouldn't even recommend ever increasing above that rate.
Well, we went down last year, and, I don't see any reason not to stay where we went down to last year.
Well, you know, we had a decent year last year. We're projecting not to have such a decent year this year.
This year.
That's facts.
No, that's reason enough.
Mhm.
Next year, if we exceed the income levels far greater than we're relying on Bob to do that for.
Absolutely.
If that happens, we'll decrease next year.
Exactly.
We'll decrease it next year.
Well, and too, I remember, you know, if you think about it, the whatever it was, 3.5 cents that we were gonna raise last year was roughly $50 per household per year. Okay, so what we're talking about here, because of valuation increases, might raise some of these taxes $15. But it means a lot to
Not
us.
even that much.
Yeah. Like I
Because
said,
of
the
the
county,
growth.
the county can afford it, but
And
the
it's the
hospital may
growth.
not be able to.
Right.
Well, it's not the county, it's the county taxpayers that are paying it, you know, but still, I mean, it's not hugely impacted. It's not near as impacted as the 10 cents that we just got hit with, and the 10 cents they're fixing to ask for Floresville, actually 20 cents, because it's gonna be 10 cents for each of the 2 districts, I promise you that. So, I mean, for what we deliver here, the services that we deliver, I think we do a very good job, and we're not charged, I mean, if you look at, so they charge 10 cents for EMS. We're charging 1.1166 for an entire hospital, clinic, system, home health. I think we need to leave it at 1166, that's just my feeling.
I would move that we leave our tax rate at the 11166 for the coming year.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Larry Richardson, second by Kay Dagan, excuse me. Please, to leave the tax rate at 1166 for the new fiscal year. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
I know.
All right.
I didn't know.
Next up is F, Capital Expenditure Service Agreement Lease Agreements. Number FI is Physician Recruitment Agreement by Medicus.
Okay, y'all are aware we're aggressively pursuing a pediatric physician, and we signed up a firm called Medicus in addition to TACOR. Bob will update you on that search. It's kind of a good news, but not, the deal's not done yet, so the deal's done. So he'll give you an update on that. But as Bob has mentioned, alluded to, we've had 5 primary care providers leave the market or leaving the market just recently. So we're all familiar with the retirement of Dr. Chavez and Nadine Chavez. Dr. Fisher is leaving WellMed, if you hadn't already. Dr. Ryan is leaving.
This is October, Ryan's already.
Why's Fisher leaving?
Inside information.
He doesn't know.
Dr. Williams, longtime provider, not, I don't know that, well, she's had a pretty active practice, I would think. She's no longer practicing. And Dr. Salazar,
New building.
Michelle Williams?
See how that-
Dr. Salazar is in FQHC, which in a way doesn't impact us, but in a way does. That's the federally qualified healthcare center over in Old Walmart, and they had 2 physicians there that see primarily Medicaid, which assists us greatly. They also offer dental services and some other things. Our current providers are reaching capacity. You know, we're scheduling weeks out. The only one that hasn't is Dr. Eschenroder, and we're working with him to expand his schedule. But for the most part, we're at capacity for the providers that we've got. You know, and we talked about Dr. Ekmark hitting his gap early and still working, or still visible in the clinic, but not seeing patients. So we're in a crisis that may be dramatic, but maybe not as far as primary care. This is some of our own making. I mean, we did not recruit a family practitioner 3 years ago, missed that opportunity. And we had Eschenroder and Henley all in the same year 2 years ago, and we wanted to let them get, you know, established. Dr. Eschenroder certainly hasn't grown as much as we would like. And we started looking in December with TACOR, which is kind of the end of the recruitment cycle. So what we're recommending or requesting today is that we sign up with Medicus. You get a discount if you do more than one agreement with them for 2 family medicine physicians. They, you know, hopefully stagger them so they don't show up on the same day. You know, just try to get busy the same day. But if we get 2 quality docs, then we'll sign them up on the same day. We have in the budget that we'll look at the workshop. One starting in April, Kyle, and one starting in August, July. I can't remember.
In April.
April, and then the second one would be at the end of the fiscal year.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so September. If they come sooner, great. No problem there. So I have one at 9 and one at 12 months. It's $25,000 total fee per doctor. That's reasonable in the physician recruitment world, even though it seems expensive. If we land them sooner than 6 months, then we can save off that fee. We pay kind of a monthly fee for 6 months, and then it stops. That pays for their marketing and other services. The actual physician contracts, though, will come back to you for approval. So if we do find a family medicine doctor, you're not approving their contract, you're just approving the recruitment of them. So we would come back and say, okay, now here's the deal for this particular doctor. So that's family medicine.
Are they looking for docs coming out of school, or are we looking at existing docs?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the new plan.
All of the above.
We are going to be hitting all of these doctors that are not, they're graduating next June, right? And we're looking for existing.
What happened?
And we might do some stipends.
Yeah, this board's approved previously stipends, loan repayment, other ways to attract them, because we have to be competitive with other programs, other communities that are recruiting.
Well,
But typically, they're available in June, they graduate in July, but also those existing doctors signed agreements starting in July, and so those agreements, they're in a bad situation for whatever reason, they don't come up in June or July. We just started in December and weren't able to land one. And
I
again,
just wonder, you know, I guess I look at it from, you know, being from Houston and having escaped Houston some 15 years ago, I feel like we could go up there and say, hey, how would you like to come somewhere where there's no gridlock traffic, where it's only 90% humidity 2 days a year? We think 70% is really, really bad here. And we don't have hurricanes. Our hurricanes are just a curiosity to us, you know. That's it. I mean, you can come here and make good living. You can live on land without somebody, you know, somebody's driveway outside your bedroom window.
what I found is general rule, the physician is all in, the spouse is like, I like eating somewhere different every night, I like my mom's.
Well, we've got 10 different Mexican food restaurants.
Good point, we'll use that, add that to the list here. Add that to the
One
list
every
here.
night.
That's right. Hey, we got Thai
Except for
food.
Tuesdays.
We have Thai food, we have Chinese food. too.
No, we promote, we
Imitate.
promote 30 minutes from San Antonio, downtown, the airport, you know, we promote that, we went hard just with the pediatric surge and on San Antonio physicians, that, hey, you wouldn't have to make too big of an adjustment just coming out here. So we're trying all the tricks.
And it's big news when somebody's tractor gets stolen. It's on the front page of the paper. I mean, we don't have, you know, nightly shootings and
We don't like tractors stolen either.
No, we don't.
Good for business.
Oh, you might. Show another one.
So that's family medicine. So again, this is a multi-physician agreement that y'all would be approving. So urology, we'd like to just see what's out there. Dr. Kella is an outstanding physician. He's our current urologist, comes once a day. The line is out the door, they're holding the door open literally for him to come.
Once a week.
Once a week. What is it?
You said once a day.
Once a day.
Once a day would be good.
We want one once a day. So, a little bit harder to find a competent, quality urologist. We want to test the market, see what's out there. We've talked to Dr. Kelly about bringing on an associate. He's not interested in that. He is very good. He's well-liked. He's not keeping a lot of surgeries here, which Bob has addressed with him and will continue to. But we'd like to, and just the minimum is 15, then you pay 25 if you land them. So we'd like to test the waters on urology, see what is out there, not offend Dr. Keller. We love Dr. Keller, but he's not wanting to come here more. And we need someone that's going to support our local services, mainly our OR. So we'd like to add that as well. But that's going to be the controversial. Dr. Keller may not like that. We haven't told him that we're going to do this yet, but it is something I think for the good of the community that we need to grow that service, grow our OR services, continue to offer options for people to stay.
Well, people lined up out the door one day a week tells you that you need more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they have to bring in chairs and
And
serious.
if you look at his information, he primarily likes to treat men. I mean, if you look at his expertise, it's male, it's not female.
And there is a need for female urological procedures, slings, those kind of things.
So are we looking at one agreement or three agreements?
It's one agreement, but we get a discount. You just list the number.
So you're asking us to approve the physician recruitment agreement with Medicus?
Yep, as presented, and then again, this is just the exposure to the organization, but there's no cost. Well, I'll take that back. Again, to get started, over 6 months, we'll spend about $15,000 for each, for family medicine and urology, not free, because it's the same specialty.
Did they give you a price for the alerts to the boards? Or is that included in that price?
That's included, yeah.
Okay, anybody have any further questions for Carl about this? Okay, do I hear any motions on it?
I'll make a motion that we move to use tech order for,
Medicus, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, it's,
medic,
Medical.
for,
where do you
and
have
spend up to $25,000.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Jeff Jordan, second by Allison Lambert, to engage with Medicus and the physician recruiting agreement as proposed. All in favor? Motion carries. All right. Next up is the OR Scope Tower.
This is a capital purchase. I think it's been about 2 years in the making for the surgical department. They've been looking for scope towers. It wasn't a capital listing for this year as well. We got the surgeons together to come up with a scope tower of their liking. And this one is, I did not write down who it was from. Who was this purchased?
This will be Stryker.
This was Stryker. So we got all three of them together, ENT, general surgery, and ortho. And they all came to the agreement of the Stryker or scope tower. The total cost for everything will be $238,000. It comes with a $170,000 tower with new scopes, 4 new scopes to go with that specific tower at $23,000. It's a 3-year service agreement. It has to go with those scopes and tower at $37,000 total. And they really needed wireless capability and a shoulder harness for ortho in that too as well. So for $8,000, we got both of those. So if This would update our OR1 and OR2 with a actual scope tower that is serviceable. It's not something we're looking for parts out on the open market. So we were asking for $238,000.
Was this like for endoscopic?
This is for ear, nose, and throat, shoulder, hernia operations. They use the scopes to look and do the repair.
All in
So,
one?
All in one, we do everything with this one.
I move.
Stop it. No, we use the same one for the GI and they clean the scopes. We can just stop right now. Okay.
Okay. Now we're getting along.
Yes, we
All
are.
right. I think you were ready.
I was gonna make a motion before I was
Brandon.
interrupted. That we approve the $238,000 expenditure for the OR scope tower.
Second.
Motion by Allison Lambert, second by Kay Dagan to approve the acquisition of the OR scope tower for $238,000. All in favor? Motion carries. Next up is the blood gas analyzer.
Our respiratory therapy department has blood gas analyzers that are, we have 4 of them right now, and we service the parts off of each other to keep them running. We've been looking for good blood gas analyzers. We finally found this one through Siemens. These are great blood gas analyzers used by the Baptist system. It'll actually include some other functionality for us for carboxyhemoglobins. Those that might get gas exposure, CO2 exposure, will be able to actually monitor those patients too as well. Both units, both interfaces through Meditech, priced at $18,000. And we get us up to date with some really good blood gas analyzers.
Any questions?
These things were already in our capital expenditure budget we were looking at.
The blood gas analyzers we were actually going to put on this next capital, but we have not even spent half of the capital budget approved last year. So we went ahead and aren't asking for that particular one. The OR scope was on last year's capital budget.
I move that we approve the purchase of the blood gas analyzers for $18,000.
Second. Got a motion by Larry Richardson, second by Jeff Jordan to approve the acquisition of blood gas analyzers for a total of $18,000. All in favor? Motion carries. Next up is item 7, annual quarterly board reports, patient experience report. Mandy?
So we decided, I believe 2 months ago, that we would do the patient experience scores quarterly now, so we could receive more data. And so this is, we're at the second quarter. The reporting inpatient rate at 93%, top box at 84, so trending up. And I think it gives you more, we get more feedback by doing it quarterly. IP recommend came down to 84%, top box score 81%. ED overall jumped up, so happy to see that from 47 to 52%. And same thing, we've been doing some extra measures in the ER. I don't know if you know have anybody that's visited, but now everybody's receiving calls, everybody's receiving cards and follow-ups. So that has helped because we've been able to capture and do service recovery before they actually get the survey. Surgical services, they're up to 68.6 for the quarter. And clinic system, Olivia?
The clinic system overall seems to be up at 68.6%. It was at 62%, so it's increased. The family practice overall has also increased, well, a little bit. It was 61.9 when it's 62. The specialty clinics went from 64 to 70, and urgent care went from 57 to 73. So they're all in the upward trend.
I just wanted to show you. So when we asked for educational things, and Consolata was gracious to help us out with one of the items we received. This is what's called the DART sim. We used it for the first time yesterday in our advanced cardiac life support class we had here. We taught 3 nurses, 2 are med surg and 1 ICU nurse. And so this is the big simulator. It's an iPad, but you can put it up there. This is a real defibrillator. So this is a simulator, and you can make it do anything and everything a patient could possibly do. So the instructor is actually, putting parameters and vital signs on there, and the nurses are actually having to think, okay, what is my patient doing? What is this rhythm showing? What are their vitals? Do they have a temperature? What's going on? So this is I guess the system, the keyboard he has, that he controls it. This is them looking at the monitor. This is our mannequin, and then actually starting to perform CPR based on what the rhythms that we're showing. So I got some feedback on from our instructors yesterday, Stephen and Damon, as to what they thought the staff liked about it. Did they like it? Did they think it was better? And they said they got out at 6:30 and they were actually asking to do more because they were excited to learn with, a realistic machine that was actually teaching them how to do things. So I just wanted to share that was one of the things that we ordered about a month ago. And so we'll be using this every month to teach our staff, as well as we always invite EMS. So we provide ACLS, CPR, and PALS free to our EMS in the county. That's one thing the last 4 or 5 years that we've committed to doing, so they can come and train with us. And then we will use it in probably a smaller capacity when we do the community CPR, same thing, so they can see, we won't get so much in depth, but they can see what they're actually doing with the patient when you're doing CPR. That's it. Any questions on that?
All right. Thank you, Mandy. Next up is the marketing update. Savannah?
Kami hosted an N-Title CO2 training class, and that went over really well. We send El Paso, after their mass shootings, a banner with our staff to sign it. I don't know if y'all remember, but Las Vegas had sent us one, so we wanted to do this for them. Those are the 2 hospitals that we sent to. Some advertisements, some Wilson County News, they did a sports roster for the volleyball, volleyball. No, these are all football schedules for Stockdale, Lavernia, Pope, and Floresville, and we put Krause up in there. And they do have one for football and volleyball. So we're on 2 of them. And on the volleyball one, we are right here in the middle. On this one, we're up in the top corner. And we are in the sports programs. The Floresville one, we did Krause with rehab. Lavernia, we did urgent care with Krause. We are in the Poth. Poth and Stockdale, we got half pages with Krause. But in the Poth, for less money, we get a little more. So we also get the athletic booster and the stadium advertisement and the back to school picnic sponsors. And I think that's this weekend. And then, so they put our logo out on there, and then they're on their t-shirts and broadcast during the event and the end of the year athletic program. And this will be the logo that's on the phone in Pope. And then Dr. Ekmark had a free physical for students. Within 2 days, he saw over 200 students, and they came from Corpus Christi, San Antonio. They were coming from everywhere. So it was a good outcome for possibly getting potential patients for him. There was no parking spots in his parking lot. And then this is the public notice we're putting in the paper for 3 weeks about the temporary relocation. So you'll see that out there. We'll put it on our social media as well and have signs around campus. Podiatry, we are starting his advertisements, so you'll start seeing them to do any pre-booking. We're gonna have them in the Wilson County News, the Livonia News, our digital billboard, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. I just turned in the Phelps mailer, he'll be in the bill. We'll do the constant contact email, and we've added him to our website already. So we're taking pre-bookings for starting September 16th. He will start seeing patients. We also will have him at the Goober Games with us when we sponsor the zoo animals, or the exotic animals. Conley sponsors that, and we asked him to tag along with Caitlin and I and his little kids, just so we can introduce him to the community already. We did do a paid Facebook ad this month. You may or may not have seen it, but when the month is over, then I'll share with y'all the results of that for Dr. Stevens' pain management. And I'll hand it over to Caitlin to talk about dinner and
Okay, thank you all so much for attending and supporting us during our Denim and Diamonds event. Those that went, did y'all have a good time? Yeah. Good. I know he sent some employees and some other people did the same thing, but we had a really good turnout. We sold a total of 78 tables. Amounts raised with our silent live and table sales, we raised over $80,000. With expenses about 27, we're net totaling 53 profit. I have some pictures. Y'all see if you see any friends so that we can send them to them. We had a very nice lady take pictures for us, and so we were very grateful for her. We're missing him, but that was his $700 rooster that he ended up with at the end of the night.
I think that's why Josh did.
Yeah? Oh.
Yeah. As you know, Savannah and I and Veronica, this was our first event with Consolata, so we have a running list of improvements that we can do next year. We're very interested in improving the event. Consolata is having another upcoming event. Y'all have seen it, you've heard us talk about it, our sporting clay tournament. That is on September 7th. Early in the morning, will be done by lunchtime. There's also a really nice raffle going on. It's a chance for winning a lifetime hunting and fishing license. That's valued at $1,800. It's $20 per chance, and of course I have chances here tonight if anybody's interested.
It can be passed down to one person too.
Correct. It's transferable to any person. They just put their information. It's really beneficial for younger people because it is lifetime. At that event, some of you may have heard this name. His name is J.P. Lane. He is a wounded Afghanistan war veteran, and he goes around speaking at nonprofit organizations. And due to his injuries, he's lost both of his legs, and at that time he had a tracheostomy and other bad wounds that they said that he would never be able to sing again. Well, he is completely recovered, and he is now singing for his organization that he supports. He will be singing our national anthem at the Clay Shoot. More upcoming events. We are the first aid sponsors with our nurses at the Taco Trample. That's the Wilson County Roadrunners that are putting that on. Our nurses will provide first aid just like they did for the bicycle race and pose. We mentioned the Goober Games will be out there. We will have a representative through the whole Pina Festival, so that includes the rehearsal dinner, the coronation, and the parade. And Dr. Holloway will be with us at the Goober Games. And put it on your calendar for our Christmas party. We're already planning our awesome Christmas party, and y'all are of course invited. So that's usually the first week of December, so keep an eye out for that. Okay, wow.
Thank you very much. Now, next up is the CEO report. Rob?
I'm short. Just want to give a few updates here, the physician updates, the pediatrician that everybody's excited to, we need to get on board. We do have a candidate, Dr. Salazar, not far from here, is working and wishes she came down and met with our home marketing team again with her fiance, and Marcelo showed her the neighborhood. She absolutely loves it here. She wants to come here. She has to get out of her existing employer's contract, and so she's working towards that. She met with them yesterday, and it sounds like they're coming to an amicable solution. So in the next 10 or so days, they're looking at another pediatrician that might be able to come and take over, and we should be able to get a better date if that comes to fruition. So we're working on that. I will keep you apprised as quickly as possible, but I think we have somebody that would love to be here. Marcelo got along with her fiance, great. He was a master guitarist, and Marcelo's like, we're connecting up, you're going to be in the band. And so he's also
He's permanently on the recruit list.
Her fiance is stationed at Wilford Hall. I did time at Wilford Hall. We talked about the docks and the lifestyle there, so it was really good. He's really excited. He didn't even know this place existed out this direction.
Is he a physician also?
No, he's not. He's in the marketing. He's in the marketing. I'm sorry. He's the videography, and he also is a it's a point of contact for talking points if the media comes. I forgot what they call that. The
PR guy.
PR, but they have an official, yes, I can't think of it right offhand for the military.
It's all code, he flies drones over to. Small sisters think.
Deciphering a few things. Well, that's a first.
It's connecting.
To the wrong one. Let's see if it'll show up. There we go. Let's see, community needs assessment. I've gone through everyone now, but the last group.
You've gone through 4.
Okay, so there's one more to go through. Just read, when we listened to them, we wanted to hear from them, and I'm following up the things we've done. I think everybody's been very receptive so far, very excited, and so it's a really good thing. Family practice physician meeting, we've held 2 in the last 2 weeks, July 30th and August 15th. That was based on just listening to them. The problems for July 30th was about problems, things we can fix, and quality measures coming. Today was on those quality measures. Marking check boxes to make sure that you have done smoking cessation. If you need to order things, your annual mammo, and it gets ordered for you. Process improvement in quality. And so Olivia and her team had the first meeting, and we expect it to go better and better. It's actually required for some of those quality measures for us to get our dollars back too, disrupt MIPS, things like that. Full medical staff, August 1st. It was a great turnout, I thought. I've seen a couple, and that was probably 18. One of the better ones.
18.
So I thought it went real well. There was some open discussion and good food. And so that was again on August 1st. Podiatrist, everybody's been talking about it. Travis Holloway came today, got his badge, checking in, got his schedule cleared up. Physicians can now refer. We're doing a whole press. We're going to the Lions Club. We're going to go to all the areas, sell him. Hopefully you saw it when you come in. Big podiatrist. Was he on the billboard today?
Yes, he was.
So we're gearing up. So that's exciting news too. I promised y'all coming on that I would do physician rounding. So this last month, Dr. Peterson and Dr. Stevens were on my list, and quality improvement and growth was a big part of that. Mandy and I met with the EMS Floresville, so just to keep doors open and let them know they're welcome to come to all of our training. They're welcome at any time, and if they ever have any services or anything that they want to vet with us, they are welcome to come and help us, we'll help them. That was a good, I think that was a fairly decent meeting. And Floresville City Manager meeting is next Tuesday? Or no, that's tomorrow.
27.
Sorry, Floresville City Manager, I'm meeting with
Oh, yeah.
Henrietta tomorrow,
At
sorry.
11 o'clock.
See if we can help her, so that's a good thing. We had a great idea about, from some community people, that the Economic Development Corporation might be a way to actually show off our county to oncoming physicians. So we have a meeting next Tuesday to talk how we can vet physicians to come to our community and any one of our great cities. So that's going to be I think that's a big win for us. They were very excited to
They were
come.
very excited when I talked to them.
So they want to go to their communities too.
That was when I down.
Insurance verification process improvement, it's ongoing. I can tell you, cash dollars on hand, I'm sorry to talk financials so much, but this is very important in this process. We're about 90%, right, Olivia, now? I think there's only like a couple of things still left to do. And that's also getting into our medical records, our MRs on the front line, and getting that information and getting that training done so that people know what their bill is on the front line, up front. And so I think that's very important. I can't say enough, I really appreciate Henry coming down from Endeavor. He's actually looked at many of our processes within the business office and the insurance verification. And he's really helping us ensure collections, ensuring that some of our settings are right within our system. And I think he's working with you on the quality process a little bit too, or something, or ECW and some of the parts. He's helped out with a little bit of that or something.
It's still related to the business office.
Okay. And so that's very appreciative for him to come down. Again, Central Campus, next Thursday and Friday, we're moving to with Becky Roars and Dr. Henley. And I think y'all talked about it, where we did talk about it in the budget, but I've shown y'all where rehab has generated more, and we showed how home health has. So this is a product line now that we just started this year, and this was infusion therapy. And I will be talking to y'all a little bit more, gross to net revenue, but we'll show how that product line is going, and we'll see how it goes, because we need to keep our eye on the ball on every service line. And so I've committed that I will do that with each and every one of you. And that ends my CEO report. All right, I'm sorry. Time to get down.
Bob at the under, that's why I went so fast.
Okay, at this point, we will move into executive session. Board of Directors of Wilson County Memorial Hospital District, DBA Common Memorial Medical Center will now go into closed session. Closed session is being held pursuant to Section 161.032 Texas Medical and Safety Code, Section 551.085. 85, discuss information from your service or product line, Section 551.071, deliberation of attorney, Section 551.072, deliberation regarding property, and Section 551.074, personnel matters of the Texas Government Code.